At Dave Cooper Live, we connect the industry leaders in the architectural, engineering, and construction space with the people, the products, and the processes to help them build it better. All right. Why is workforce housing critical to regional growth? We're talking about ADA accessible housing, veteran housing, sustainable construction, shipping containers, and prefab permanently affordable housing. How can one group do it all? Well, welcome to Dave Cooper Live, where we bring you the people, the products, and the processes, helping us all to build it better. And today it's an honor to welcome Sherry Taylor, Executive Director of Durham Community Land Trustees, as we discuss innovative approaches to increasing housing supply. How can we empower communities for success? Well, you're going to have to stick around to find out. But first, a word from our sponsor. Stream Modular, the only logistics company you need to transport your mods, pods, and panels. Our friends at Stream Modular are investing $50 million over the next 25 years to build the technology, solutions, and trailers needed to handle and transport the projects of today and meet the demands of tomorrow. Reach out to their team at streammodular.com to discuss your next project. CombiLift is the largest global manufacturer of multi-directional forklifts and straddle carriers, a leader in long load handling solutions, offering a free warehouse and site optimization design service. CombiLift helps companies of all sizes and from every industry maximize the capacity, safety, and efficiency of their warehouse and storage facilities. A big thank you to Paul Short and the team at CombiLift for helping us all to build it better. Visit them at combilift.com. Ready to scale up your offsite construction business? Introducing 4A Constructs, your solution to finding skilled labor for offsite manufacturing. Say goodbye to the headache of recruiting a skilled workforce with hand-selected certified tradesmen that are expertly trained and managed for offsite manufacturing, set crews, and finish crews, ensuring maximum productivity and safety. Unlock the future of skilled workforce development for all of your offsite construction needs. Visit them at 4aconstructs.com. All right. Again, a big thank you to all of our supporting members out there. We cannot bring you all these informative conversations without them. So with further ado, let's get into it. Let's bring the one, the only Sherry Taylor to the show. Sherry, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, Dave. Excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here. You know, it's funny. We literally met on a bus.
Yeah, we did.
We met on a bus in Pittsburgh. It was a special bus. So it was one taking us around, showing us housing with Module and Brian Gaudio and their team over there. But before we get into exactly what you are doing in Durham, before we get into talking about how you're helping veterans and building sustainable structures, we want to know a little bit about you, Sherry. In fact, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. Don't forget all the good stuff from the hospitals, or we will have one of your family members on. And I know for sure it's going to get embarrassing quick. So I suggest you give us all the good stuff. Floor is yours. Go for it.
Well, Dave, I'll say this. I'll be quick about it. And I'm sure there's lots of good nuggets, but from the day I was born. But I'll make it really short and just say that my background is in urban planning, and then I got into commercial real estate and development. And I really wanted to bring those skills back to a community. And so that's why I work at a nonprofit now. I'm a developer, and my purpose in life is to transform communities to make them better. And that's why we have to build. I have to build, and I'll be doing that till the end of my days. That's it about me.
Well, that is too simple. Now, I'm going to dig in. I'm going to peel back this onion here. So, with that said, all of this starts from somewhere. You have a family full of veterans, first of all, your brother and your sister who are holding you very accountable for a project you're working on right now. So I want to make sure that we say a big thank you to them for their service as well. But I want to know, where did the passion for this as a developer come from? Because, taking on sustainable development, container builds, all of this stuff, it's no easy task. And it's definitely no easy task when you're doing land trusts and all that. And we'll get into that. But where did the passion come from, Sherry? What was your aha moment to say, hey, this is what I want to do?
Well, I think it really comes from, I think everyone should do this, right? I think people need to connect with their purpose. And I believe that we are all born for a purpose, sometimes maybe two or three of them. And it's not something that you have to figure out. It's something that you were born with. And all of your skills and your abilities, even how our brains are wired, independently, and no brain is wired the same way. That's all to help us fulfill our purpose. And so once I connected with my purpose to transform communities and help families build a legacy through real estate, it was really easy to see where I was supposed to be. It wasn't a big, I need to take 10 years to find myself. It was already within us. So I would just encourage people, whether you like to build or do something else to help humanity, connect with your purpose and then start doing it. Action.
Right. So it's not really work for you.
No, this is fun. It's not work.
Yeah. I know. I love what I do as well. And it is fun coming to work or having fun, whatever I do all day long. So Sherry, when did you start?
When did I start? I think one of the things that really kind of helped me figure this out was um, my parents grew up in rural North Carolina to sharecropping families. And eventually, one set of grandparents, or they were actually able to buy their land. If you know anything about sharecropping, it's really predatory, and it doesn't help people get out of poverty. And that's how my parents grew up. But one set of grandparents were able to buy land, um, and that gave my family a base, right? They weren't moving around anymore from farm to farm. My mom and her siblings are first generation high school graduates, and I'm a first generation college graduate. And so I know that the stability of having a home and not having to move around really does change the trajectory of a family, of generations of a family. And so I just feel like um, the work that I do and the work that we do here at DCLT really gives families, whether it be rental property or to buy a home from us, it gives them that stability so that they can really provide for their families, and generations of their families can do more, can do better. And I just feel like it's a responsibility that I have, knowing what I know about housing, knowing what I know about construction. It always comes back to that.
Right.
Someone was there for our family, and now I'm going to be here for other people's families.
Yeah, that I mean, listen, paying it forward, and backwards, I guess in this instance, right, is what it's all about. Talk to me a little bit about the organization and what is specifically a land trust. And I want you to wrap that up with, is this something people can do in other cities across the country?
Well, I'm going to start with your last question first is yes, everybody can do this. There's over 300 land trusts within the United States operating right now and over 600 worldwide. So it's not a new concept. Actually, the first land trust in the world was created in Albany, Georgia, called New Communities in 1969, and every other land trust after them is kind of modeled after that. Right? We took this model, we saw that it worked, and we've applied it all over. But what a land trust is, it's a way to have permanently affordable housing or retail or commercial space.
Mhm.
And so every land trust is different, but we do have that in common. And so when we sell a home, for instance, we're constructing a home right now. We're going to sell that to a buyer. What we do is we separate the interests of property. So we only sell the structure to the buyer and we retain ownership of the land. I don't know if your viewers know this, but you can separate real estate in about 6 different ways. You might have heard about air rights or mineral rights or gas
Yeah.
rights, and you can sell all those things. Well, you can sell the land and a house separately. And we do that at the land trust to keep housing affordable. People are only buying the structure. And in that way, we can recycle affordability every time the house sells.
How does a consumer wrap their head around that? That they own the house, but not the land it sits on? I mean, do they kind of own the land because they live there, just in the sense of it's their property with their house? But the land trust, I'm assuming, is what's protecting their asset, the house.
So that's a great question. What the home buyers get is a 99-year ground lease. And that means they have all the responsibilities just like if they own the land. They have to mow the grass, they have
Right.
to rake the leaves, they have to take out the garbage. They can put up a fence if they want. They can do whatever they need to do with that land. They're responsible for it, but they're actually leasing it. And at DCLT, we charge $50 a month for that ground lease.
Got it. So how does it protect them from, what is it protecting them from by doing that? Or are you just protecting the land so you can continue to provide housing for future generations?
Well, it's all of those things.
Uh-huh.
One of the benefits of only owning the structure is that you only pay taxes on the structure. You don't pay taxes on the land. So that's one benefit. And then we consider ourselves a developer that never goes away. So we're their partner in that property. We own the land, the nonprofit does, and they own the structure. One of the benefits of doing that is that sometimes people run up against a situation. It may be financial. And because we're partners, that means that, a lot of land trust homes don't go into foreclosure. The land trust typically will buy that home back before foreclosure hits that homeowner. So again, we're partners. We don't want to see the home go into foreclosure. We have the option to buy it back if something
Right.
happens.
Love it. I love it. All right. So not only are you, protecting and helping lives and now and in the future, but you're also utilizing innovative housing construction techniques, right? And you're out there doing this. So what does make you or your organization the perfect, fit for evaluating what's innovative in housing construction? Because isn't innovation expensive most times? And so tell me, how are you getting around the expensive side of the innovation?
Well, we're thinking, we're using our brains, right? So DCLT has been around for 37 years. We're not a new developer, we're not a new nonprofit. We've been doing this for a while. And because we can lean on our experience, we know what works, what doesn't, and what is facing our community right now. Look, a lot of cities are like Durham, North Carolina. They're very expensive, rent is going up, and it's hard for people to afford to buy a house. So our services are definitely needed still. We're not going anywhere. But over time, we've learned a lot of things. And we're a licensed general contractor as well. And so this is not just something, our projects we hand over to somebody else. A lot of our projects, we either GC ourselves or we work with our GC partners. So we're not just a consumer or a client, we're also the builder. And we put a lot of pride into our work. What we found is that what we did 30 years ago, it works, but now we have to do more because our community needs more. We need ADA accessible housing, we need supportive housing, we need housing for veterans that looks great and fits their needs. And so we're really thinking through the design process and working with our design partners to really get
Yeah.
into it. It's not just about having a unit, it's about thinking through the whole life cycle of this product.
How do I qualify, Sherry? Because I'm a veteran, do I qualify to do this with you? Or how does one qualify to have the assistance of your land trust?
So we're really focused on serving low to moderate income people.
Mhm.
And that's generally for homeownership, people who are under 80% or below area median income. And for renters, under 60% or below area median income. And those income limits are set by the Department of Housing and Urban Development for each area in the United States.
Got it. Got it. Let's talk about design and sustainability now, okay? Because you're developing these properties, and I saw one of your units, on display at in Washington D.C. Right at the Innovative Housing Showcase. So, it was a aha moment when we started talking. But talk to me a little bit about when you're looking at design, you're looking at sustainability. What in your mind makes a home long lasting, sustainable, and a great investment? A 99-year lease is a long time, but what makes it a great investment to help boost housing supply?
There's so many benefits, but really, when it boils down to it, everyone needs a home. Everyone needs to go home at the end of the day. And so, whether it's for seniors or for our workforce or for families, people need to be able to afford not only have a place to live, but have a place to live that's close to downtown and to jobs and to transit and to healthcare. Um, these locations are becoming more and more expensive. And so, by providing, housing that's accessible, housing that's innovative, we can do more of this. No, it's not the cheapest way
Yeah,
to do housing, right? To be innovative, but it's something that we need.
sure, sure. Somebody's there to meet you, I think. Hey, so
Sorry about that.
that's okay. Hey, listen, this is what's fun about live. It is not a scripted show. Here's the thing with this and what you guys are doing in the unit that we saw in on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. Um, is that that was a container home? Is that what your units are like? Or are you using all different types of products? And then also tell me about what projects you currently have going on and how many homes you're building.
Sure. Is there a way to put up slide 5, Dave?
How about that?
Hey, perfect. So yeah, this is the unit that we put up at the
Mhm.
National Mall in June, and it's
Right.
great. So to answer your question, no, we are doing every different type of construction to make sure we can make these homes affordable. DCLT has over 300 rentals, and we support over 50 land trust homeowners. So we're doing both. We're doing rental, we're doing for sale homes. This unit in particular is going to be a project made out of shipping containers. The project is called Guthrie Village, and it's supportive housing for veterans. What's really important about that, Dave, is that we're a developer. We don't do any, case management support, and we know that some of our veterans need that additional support so that they can have successful lives, post service, and also successful tenancy, right? And so we're building these 1 and 2 bedroom units for veterans and their families, and they're going to have support all the way through, which we're really, really excited about. Um, but this is a shipping container project,
Wow.
but we also are doing modular construction as well. And these are also ADUs, so we're trying to mix all of these different kind of innovative construction types to get the units to be as affordable as possible, right? But also still look really great, and be accessible. One of the things that we've committed to is ADA accessibility for all of our new units, whether it's a veteran unit or not, and to build more sustainably. So we're starting a project. We're starting two projects actually that'll be net zero sustainable construction. We're really excited about that. Typically, you don't have affordable housing, also be sustainable housing. So the fact that we can put all these things together and offer it
Yeah.
to folks is just amazing.
Or net zero. I mean, listen, let's be real. I mean, if we're gonna help people get in a home, that need the help, whether it's veterans, or just people coming out of homelessness or whatever the case is, giving them a home and then slapping them with a bunch of utility bills doesn't help anybody, right? And I think that's pretty amazing. Can you get net zero out of this house? Like, is this a net zero home, or is this more on the sustainable side, and energy efficient side?
So it's going to be energy efficient,
Mhm.
but it won't be net zero.
Okay.
The thing about it is, though, it is sustainable because we're recycling the shipping container. You came, you saw it. What did you think?
I loved it. I did. I listen. It was one of the first ones that I went into. And people, if you watch my show, if you're not watching my show, why not? You would have seen it already, but there it is, without the roof. And they explained that the whole thing's not there because the mall had regulations of what they could or could not do.
Exactly. It was really exciting to be on the mall. We had a counter, and over 3,000 people came through that unit. And I was telling some of my staff, I said, people kept on asking, is this only for veterans? I said, no, anyone could have one of these. They're like, can I have one in my backyard? Well, of course you can. So if people are asking you, can I have one? That means you did it right, right? Like
Oh,
we're really
yeah.
proud of it.
Yeah, no, 100%. You would not know you're in a container in these units whatsoever. The kitchens, the baths, everything was absolutely gorgeous. The one thing I didn't know is that you're building all of your units to ADA compliance. I think that is, I mean, that's outstanding, right? Because listen, a lot of people that are down on their luck and money or need a hand up, not a hand out, have disabilities of some sort, especially in the veteran community. So perfect, perfect, perfect. How big?
So the one bedroom units are little under 400 square feet. And
Mhm.
then the two bedroom units are about 725.
About 725. Got it. Got it. How
Mhm.
many units a year will you be doing? As like this year, how many you guys have underway or under your belt with this new development and everything?
This one is 18 units. Five of them will be ADUs, the rest of them will be primary homes. And then we also have other construction projects going on as well. And
How
they're
are you? Go ahead.
and they're in all different ranges of the phases, right? So some are in pre-development and some of them are in pre-construction. So that's where we are.
So in different regions, how are you working with the manufacturers or are you becoming a manufacturer?
We will not be a manufacturer. We're not gonna go there. I think
Yeah.
that's a little bit too much for us. But we
Sure.
do have some great manufacturing friends that we've met along the way. Module is one of them. We're in their mission-driven developer program, and so they're giving us a lot of technical assistance so that we can have modular units on the ground. This particular for the shipping container ADUs, we're working with Maker Studio. They're out of Atlanta, Georgia, and so we're going to manufacturers in all different regions to help us do our work. And it's great that they're mission aligned and want to do that.
Yeah, and you can see a video with Maker Studio on our YouTube channel. I'd have to dig it up. We'll put it in the links for this so people can see this unit in particular, and the great people there. Husband and wife team on that one, I believe, if I remember correctly, which is great. Cost. How are you meeting the affordability side of this and also giving them advancements in technology and all the things? Because this is where everybody struggles. And I think this is probably the most important part of this conversation is we all want to, build better and do better, but it's a real fine line on how you do that.
It's an extremely fine line.
Yeah.
um, you know, our goal is to be the developer that um, builds affordably, but also links our buyers to all of the down payment assistance resources that they can possibly get. And so, what I think is real important here is that you can't give up. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer to figure these things out, right? We've never done shipping containers before as a construction medium, but we realize that we have about a 30% savings if we do that, right? We have done modular before,
Mhm.
but not in the last 15 years. And so that industry has changed a lot. And so I just think that if you actually pursue it and then also say, you know what, admit it. I don't know everything about everything. Let me reach out to people who actually know a little bit more about this than I do and partner. Partnership is the key to everything.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like if people just start talking to each other and stop thinking they have the greatest idea in the world and they don't want to share ideas, that's why we are where we are. It's amazing me, but I agree with that. It's all about that collaborative approach. I'm super happy that you're working with Module, right, in their last mile manufacturing facility. I think I told you we just filmed there this past week, and hopefully we're gonna. If you're looking for a job, Module's hiring. I'm just gonna put it out there for those of you watching this because they're growing and expanding. And the great thing about that, Sherry, in my mind, is they really don't care how we used to do it in the past. They're trying to do it in their own way and rethink how they do things with their young minds, because that's a young group of folks right there.
Absolutely. Great partner to have.
Let's talk about CLT plus one. What is it and how is DCLT innovating with the ADU side of this market?
So you asked about, how we're making this affordable. And with my real estate background, I was asking the same thing. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Construction prices are high, especially during COVID. I'm like, oh my God, a piece of OSB. Um, how are we going to continue to build these homes? We can't afford to do it. And so I started to think about, well, how do we how do we make this more approachable? How do we increase our buyers' purchasing power?
Mhm.
And so what I thought about was, what if we build a house, but also include an income generating piece to it, a rental ADU on with the house. And so that's how we developed CLT plus one. Basically, it's a land trust house,
Okay.
normal land trust house with an attached accessory dwelling unit. And we wanted to do that, one, to make the purchasing power of our buyers higher, right? Because now you have an included rental unit, but also to create more space for multi generational families. A lot of times we get requests for 4 and 5 bedroom homes, and almost no one is building those affordably.
Right.
So we are filling two needs.
All right. Let me get this right. So you're already doing an affordable, sustainable, advanced manufacturing home on a site. And now with CLT plus one, you're also going to add a rental ADU unit. So mom, dad, kids can come home from school, whatever the case may be, can live on site. Now, who do they pay rent to?
They pay rent the rent actually goes to the homeowner. So this is the innovative part about this. DCLT is going to, because we're a property manager already, we manage
Yep.
our own properties. We're going to
Okay.
manage that ADU rental. We're going to, lease it up. We're going to collect the rents. We're going to do the maintenance. And then we're going to hand over the rental proceeds to the owner. So it's a hands off kind of approach to rental.
So, and then it gives them the money to make sure they're paying, their housing bill and their $50 a month land lease. Like you're creating a win-win for them.
Exactly.
They
So
can't ever get mad at you, even if they lost their job. Like they're like, how? That's really cool. Now, have you seen this anywhere else in the country, or is this just something that you guys have come up with?
um, I've seen it in other places, but for
Mhm.
affordable housing, it's a little bit new, right? A lot of places, especially out west, have been, utilizing ADUs for a long time,
Right.
10, 15 years.
Okay.
Here on the East Coast, it's a little bit newer. And so we don't see a lot of affordable housing providers, workforce housing providers doing this, but we have the perfect portfolio for it because we own a lot of property in Durham and we own a lot of single family lots. So it's perfect for us. If you put up slide number 7, we can show everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is our CLT plus one home. We had this custom designed and we work with community members to design it. So it's a 4-bedroom house, 2 full baths. It's ADA accessible on the first floor, which is great. And of course, we're incorporating universal design throughout all of our housing options. The ADU is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath unit. They can use it for extended family, for caregiving, or as a rental. So we're not prescribing how folks use it. We want them to use it how they need. I myself had my parents live with me for a little while, and I need to give my mom caregiving. And having an accessible bathroom when you're caregiving is huge. Like,
Yeah.
it's so stressful if you don't have it. So again, we're thinking about everyone using this housing type, right? Those who are aging in place, multi-generational families. And what's great about this, Dave, is that if at some point the homeowner wants to downsize, right, in retirement, they can move into the ADU and they can rent out the primary home, and we'll help them with that too.
No kidding. And I got a 99-year lease. So as long as I don't move on before my 99 years is up, that probably would happen.
Exactly.
All right. So, I mean, this is definitely an interesting concept. Let's say that I'm not a veteran in need and I'm not somebody in need. And I say, Sherry, I love this. I live in Durham. Will you build this for me?
We are not doing construction for others at this point,
Yeah.
just for ourselves, because we feel like that need is being filled by others in the market. There's plenty of builders out here who are doing a great job on market rate homes, but there's only 2 in our whole county that are doing for sale homes for people that need, that are low to moderate income. And we're one of them.
Got it. My last question's a doozy. You sitting down?
I'm sitting.
Yeah. How do you get all this land? Where does it come from? How does one go about doing what you're doing in other cities? Because that's the biggest question, right?
Whew, okay, you said it was a doozy. And
I
you were,
didn't really think it was gonna be. I figured you'd be like, well, it's a see, we just go talk to the mayor and he gives it to us.
oh, I wish that was, can you make that happen? I wish that worked that way. But since we've been in the city for a long time, we've
Yeah.
acquired property over time.
Mhm.
Obviously, we're a nonprofit, so people can donate property to us. And sometimes we get land donations from the city or county, but we're just like everybody else in the market. We have to go out and buy it at the price that it's listed at. So
So you go out and buy it at the price that it's listed at. And is most of this infill properties within the city or suburbs of the city?
most of it is infill. Almost all of it is infill. We actually specialize in urban infill.
Okay.
We take on the crazy lots that no one else will and make it work.
And does that cost you more sometimes in the long run because there's stuff under that ground you didn't know was there?
Well, it's mainly like lots that are not completely flat or have,
Got it.
that weird creek in the back of it that you can't, build within 50 feet, like things like that.
Right. Right.
When you move dirt around, it costs more, right? And so sometimes we have to move dirt around to make the lot work, but we're
Right.
willing to do that because that lot needs to be developed. That family needs to be in a house. We do what we got to do.
I think it's great. Well, let me ask you one last thing. So, with the development, with what you're doing for the veterans right now, you mentioned before the show that your brother and sister are all over you about getting this right. Tell us what you want to do it right. Where's it coming from though? You seemed a little nervous about that one, but I think it means that much to you. But I want to hear it from you.
It does. I was showing my sister, who is a 20-year veteran of the Army. She was a sergeant there, and I was showing her the site and some of the renderings, and we're just sitting at my kitchen table. We're doing this, and I'm just showing it to her on my computer. And I was like, "Do you like it?" She was like, "Yeah, I like this. I like that. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that." And then all of a sudden, she looks at me. She looks me dead in the eye, and she says, "You better get this right." Don't mess this up. And I don't know, Dave, if you know, but she's a sweet person. Except when she goes back and she does that military thing and she like becomes very scary.
Oh,
And
I know.
yeah, that thing happened. I was like, okay, yes, I will get this right. Are you going to kill me? So
Hey, that's what it is, right? Being late in the military can get people killed. So that carries over into the civilian world. You got it, Sherry. Don't mess this up.
not going to mess it up. Not at all.
Well, listen, we got a couple comments and questions from the audience, and I will say not all of them are coming through, so I'm going to have to do this a little hodgepodge today. I'll start off with one that is here. Todd Bayruther, who is running one of the most awesome CLT plants in the country, says, great approach, Cheryl. It was inspiring to meet your team and learn more about your model in DC. If you remember, they were there with Green Canopy Node. They had the whole expo. So Todd, good to see you from Mercer, Mass Timber. One of my favorite people in the world there. He said CLT times CLT, land equity and material equity. There you go. Perfect. And then, I know this person. Winona Satcher, Maker Studio. Hey, Winona, long time no see. I'll be in DC again soon. You should come. My team is happy to support Sherry's work through our ADU modular work. We love the land trust model, a great and sustainable affordable housing solution. I'm not sure why your comment is not popping up on my screen, but that's all right, as long as we get to it. Oh, and Henry Mickelberg from France, all the way from France, Sherry, they're talking about you now. Question, optimistically, the longevity of a container-based house isn't going to go past 25 years, assuming a 99-year lease. What's the replacement strategy?
Well, that's a great question. Any building that we have, any structure, I don't care what it is, you have to do capital improvements around year 15 to 20. And so that's a part of the schedule that we have for all of our rentals is to do those capital improvements. And we'll do those for the container units as well.
Perfect. All right, John Zifroni. And again, I'm sorry your names aren't popping up on the show today, but at least you got the information. Puts in quotes, partnership is the key to everything, says Sherry Taylor, yes, exclamation point. So love it. And Winona Satcher, we love Bet and her team at Green Canopy Node. So yeah, definitely Beck is an awesome person. And yeah. Did I miss anything, Sherry?
I don't think so. I think you got it all, Dave.
Are you sure? Is there anything that I missed? Anything that you want? Any words of advice? Like, is it, you make it feel so simple and easy, but honestly, like if somebody really wants to find their true passion in life and they feel it's the same thing you're doing that's in the built environment like we are, what would be your one word of advice to them to, kind of say, hey, listen, this is the hurdle or this is what you just got to keep after?
I would say that don't measure yourself against anybody else. You have your purpose, start taking action, and before you know it, boom, you'll be where you want to be and doing the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
But don't stop. And I forgot. Once you have your purpose, say it is with the built environment, don't keep it to yourself. You have to tell people. That's how the universe works. You have to get it out. If you can say it in a sentence or two and you start telling everyone, things will start to change and you'll be able to actually fulfill that purpose, build those houses, build that subdivision, build that multifamily building, do whatever you need to do. But you have to get it out of your mouth and you have to keep repeating it. And then people will agree with you and things will start to change.
That is great advice, and I agree with that. So you want some other good stuff? I got good news. You want to hear the good news, Sherry? On October 20th through the 23rd, 2024, we're going to be in Long Beach, California, Sherry, with the International Code Council. They came to Dave Cooper Live this year, and they said, we want all the offsite folks and the leaders in this space to come meet with us and all the code officials out there, to include all the leaders in the ICC at their annual conference and expo committee and action hearings, right? So this is October 20th through the 23rd, 2024. If you have product, they want you to bring product too. This is where all the code officials go for their annual meeting. Think about this. We don't want to have to explain container homes to them all the time. We don't want to have to explain modular CLT mass timber. This is a place where you can get them to come and view the goods and go, huh, it is better than how we're doing it. Maybe we can get all these people off the streets. So again, October 20th through the 23rd, 2024, Long Beach, California. And guess what? I'll probably have an event while we're out there as well. We may throw a little party outside the party. What do you think, Yen?
Hey, I'm in. And guess what, Dave?
What?
A week before that, on October 10th, we are having a fundraiser golf tournament for Guthrie Village. All the proceeds will go towards the veteran village that we talked about earlier. And so
Right.
I'll be there October 10th, and then I might be with you the next week.
Oh, well, send us the information on that October 10th. Would love to promote that for you and put it up, to get people to help support you in any way that we can. But Sherry, we're about out of time here. Thank you so much. And Winona and Henry, things are starting to pop in now. I can see those two are going back and forth. That's funny. Those two right there are going to have at it because Henry, he's witty. And I know Winona is too. So I think that'll be a great conversation amongst them. But Sherry, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're always welcome. And as new projects come up or you're finishing this Veterans Village, being a veteran myself, I would love to showcase that and help promote that for you. So please just keep us in the loop and we'll do what we can on the Dave Cooper Live Show. Sound good?
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right. Don't go anywhere. And for the rest of you, guess what? It's only Monday. That means you got 4.5 more days to build it better. That's right. Follow Sherry's footsteps and start doing what's in your heart. And let's get people off the streets. Let's get veterans off the streets. Let's build more affordable, more sustainable. And how about some more net zero homes so people can afford the houses we build? Outside of that, Sherry, don't go anywhere. I'll come back to you after the outro. The rest of you have an awesome Monday. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching. What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you. And as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.